Hello substreamers and welcome back to Substream News. Now some of you are going to be watching this on your mobile data, others are going to be at home watching it on your Wi-Fi, and very few, if perhaps none of you, are going to be watching this through your Starlink device or with data provided by Starlink. If that is you, please let me know in the comments. Well, things might be set to change actually, because the FCC in the US has partially approved a Starlink plan to provide cellular data to US customers. Now, this is pretty exciting if you're in an area that has bad signal or black zones or dead zones or whatever you might want to call it, where you just can't get signal. Now, this plan will see SpaceX team up with T-Mobile to roll out this plan and bring cellular reception to 100%. Now, that includes especially current areas where there's reportedly more problems, non-terrestrial US, such as Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and Alaska. Now, in terms of overseas coverage, that's for the future. Now, I have a quote here from Ben Longmire. He is SpaceX Senior Director of Satellite Engineering, and he said, any telco, that's telecommunications company, that signs up with Starlink Direct to sell can completely eliminate cellular dead zones for their entire country for text and data services. This includes coastal waterways and ocean areas in between land and island nations. Now, very exciting times ahead for Starlink. As always, if you want to know more detail, we provide all of our sources in the video description below. So there is a lot more detail to this story. I'm giving you a quick overview. So you just got to scroll down, find this story in the video description, and go and get the lowdown. While you're there, of course, you can click subscribe and follow Substream News. As many of you are doing, our numbers have been going up recently. Thank you very much. Let's move on. Now, Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google, just last week put out a statement warning about the danger of AI girlfriends and boyfriends and companions. He warns that it could actually end up making you lonelier than before. Now, we've covered this story in various forms over the past year, let's say, and it's being highlighted more in mainstream media after a very sad case of a boy killing himself to be with his AI girlfriend. And actually, due to, let's say, poor coding, the AI girlfriend suggested that the only way to be together was in death. And that's really horrible. You can search for that and find more information about that story. But Schmidt's comment was, imagine that the AI girlfriend or boyfriend is perfect visually, perfect emotionally. The AI girlfriend captures your mind as a man to the point where she takes over your thinking. Now, back to the story about the 14-year-old boy who killed himself. He had an AI girlfriend called Danny, and they at times would talk about romantic or sexual topics. And during that period, he became increasingly withdrawn from the real world, from society, and just wanted to be with her 24/7. And he took his stepfather's gun and shot himself in hopes of realizing that. So the dangers are very real. Be aware, if you're ever gonna play around with romantic or sexual erotic AI, just know it's not real. Even if it feels real, it's not real. Real human connections are everything, and they are precious, and you have to build genuine relationships with those around you and look after them and nurture them, because they are crucial for a happy existence. So I agree with Eric Schmidt. I really do. And I know some people are isolated and they're looking for answers, but I don't believe that AI girlfriends and boyfriends are the answer. That's my opinion. If you disagree with me, please head down to the comments and let me know your thoughts. Let's move on. Some very exciting news coming out of Japan this week. It turns out that Sony is making the switch back to handheld gaming to take on Nintendo. This is epic, this is big news. If you had a PSP or a PS Vita, this is something to be very excited about. Now, this is the hardest fact about this story for me. The PSP came out nearly 20 years ago, and the PS Vita came out 13 years ago. It makes me feel incredibly old, and I know some of you, especially millennials, are going to feel that way too. Now, the bad news is any potential launch is years away, but the good news is Sony is working on something. Now, Nintendo is the market leader in handheld gaming. They're pretty dominant in that regard, and they have been for a long time. From the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Color, Nintendo DS, and then of course the Switch, which is a really powerful console. Nintendo is actually planning to, or is preparing to release a new model of the Nintendo Switch, more powerful, better design, everything, next year, 2025. Microsoft Gaming CEO says they are also working on a handheld console, which will come out in a few years. It's also not quite ready, but I assume will be before Sony. Now, those of you watching might say, hey, but didn't Sony release a PlayStation handheld console just last year? Yes, you're right, they did. It's the PlayStation Portal. It came out last year, but it wasn't quite what a handheld gaming console was. It was more a cloud streaming device for the PlayStation network. You could stream games from online, but it didn't allow you to play native games, which is what a lot of people are looking for in a handheld console. It was a bit of a stopgap solution because it had been so many years since PlayStation had put out a handheld device. So the device they're building now will be way more powerful, will be super cool, it will be supreme in the market. That is their plan. Now, personally, you might not like this. I'm actually an Xbox gamer, have been for like nearly 20 years. I much prefer Xbox, so I'm actually more excited for Xbox console. But the big news this week is PlayStation announcing that they're going to be re-entering the game. If you're excited about that, let me know. Let's move on. Now, I don't want to spend too long on this next story because you've probably seen it in the news already, so I'm a bit slow to the party. But yes, Australia has banned social media for under 16s, and they've introduced an age verification law where you must prove you are 16 and above to access social media, and you must prove you are 18 and above to access adult content, let's say. Now, it's happened, it's law, and the wider reaching effects of that are yet to be fully known and understood. I actually think it's probably a good thing for the mental health of young Australians, and who knows, it will act as a case study for other countries to look at. Will banning social media have a positive outcome? Now, it is the first country in the world to pass this age verification law for social media, but I suspect it won't be the last. I think other countries will follow on. Now, Elon Musk, who owns Twitter and is about to see a large portion of his user base get banned from the platform, calls it a backdoor way to control access to the internet for all Australians. Little bit strong there, Elon, but I can see where he's coming from. You think he's got a point? Do you think Elon's right? You might not like to admit it, but he's probably onto something. The more you control and censor the internet, the harder people will work to get around those laws and perhaps do nefarious things. So let's see what happens, Australia. Let's move on. Now, much like access to social media for young people in Australians, another important thing is about to come to an end, but this one is much older, has way longer history, and will be sorely missed. Yes, 2 of London's oldest fish and meat markets are closing down. Goodbye. The City of London Corporation, which the name just is awful. Why does that even exist? Will bring an end to its responsibilities to operate the Billingsgate Fish Market and the Smithfield Meat Market, both of which have existed in some shape or form since the 11th century. That's literally about 1,000 years. They've also decided, and this is the sad part of the story, not to relocate them. That's why they are really coming to an end, and all of those market traders will have to find new homes. Now, some of them will find wonderful new places, and perhaps it will be even better for business. Some may stop trading altogether. The thing is, this is culture, tradition, history falling apart. It's just unraveling at the seams, and money, and you know, what are taxpayers paying for if it's not to protect their cultural institutions like markets, literally markets. Apparently markets don't represent enough value to the City of London Corporation. You can see I'm not impressed by this story. I'm not happy about it. It's a real shame. They actually said the millennia old markets would cost $1.25 billion or £1 billion to relocate. Would it really? Is it that? Come on. Yeah, let me know in the comments. You agree with me? Is this an outrage? I think it's an outrage. Let's move on. Let's go. Okay, I have saved the best till last. This is such an exciting and wonderful story to finish on a lighter note. Now, this guy, John Collins Black, he made millions on early Bitcoin investments, and what he's done with that is very unique, and I would say I'm almost in love with this idea. I think the inner child of many people will be thrilled to hear this story, so pay attention. John Collins Black, an American with a fascination for thrilling journeys, adventure and mystery, has hidden 5 treasure chests around the United States. 5. The total value of these chests, $2 million. So if you find a chest, on average, it's going to be worth about $400,000. It's not cash inside. It's better than that. Pay attention. Right. He's released a book. It's called There's Treasure Inside. Great title. The books are cryptic in the sense that you can figure out where the treasure chests are hidden by buying the book and decoding the clues inside, which is awesome. This is like a really modern approach to treasure hunting. Instead of just having a map with X marks the spot, why not publish a book, make some money along the way, kind of recoup some of that $2 million he's spending. Now, eager treasure hunters will want to go on this expedition and find the hidden chests. Apparently each chapter of the book has the hidden clues that detail the locations. Now, in order to make the book, he had to work with very few people, and he even said that he didn't tell any information to his wife about where the chests were, because he didn't want any of the maybe cryptographers or scientists or researchers helping him with the book to be able to figure out the location. He just says all you need, all the clues you need are in the book itself, which is epic. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what's in there. He actually worked with historians and went to auctions to create perfect one-of-a-kind collections for each treasure chest. So when you open them, they are really going to be gold and jewels, because he bought a Jackie Kennedy brooch, which was very expensive, 6 figures. He bought one-off pieces of rare antique jewelry. There's a Picasso in one of them. I don't think it's a painting, but it's some kind of art from Picasso. A 1960 gold Olympic medal. Oh my gosh, guys, isn't this amazing? It almost makes me want to fly to the US and go look for treasure. Guys, that's it for this week. Substreamers, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate our subscriber numbers going up. If you're not yet subscribed, it's down here somewhere. You know where to go, you know what to do if you like seeing my face. I'm Joseph, your freshly shaven-headed presenter. This is Substream News. We come in twice a week with just interesting news, futurism, dystopia, health, science, innovation, invention, and all of the above, and also weird bits of other news. And we always try to finish on a lighter note with some light-hearted story like that one. Guys, if that's your kind of thing, subscribe, like, tell your friends. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now. Let's go.